So hi guys, welcome to Becodewala. I welcome you to my new amazing tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to build a EdTech platform using React, Tailwind CSS and the TypeScript. So very less we are going to use TypeScript, so no worries. So it is a proper landing site for a EdTech platform. You can see that here I have deployed my EdTech platform, and here you can see that the beautiful navbar with the logo and the nav items like home, curriculum, why, chooses, and the how it works. All this section I have created, and then here is the free trial. You can book your free trial. You can fill up this and fill the form and submit it. So let's start with the first, the hero section. The hero section, you can see that we have a beautiful book a free trial button and the heading one-to-one personal classes, and here in the right side we have a image. And now you can see that we have a beautiful animation. Now go scroll for the another section, and as we go on the another section you can see that the curriculum section has been highlighted, and here you can see that what we are going to learn, and I have mentioned all this. And you can see that the hovering effect when we hover it. So here go for the why choose our platform section. So here I have given the 6 card why to choose our platform. So now we can go to the other section, how it works. Book a free trial, choose your mentor, one-to-one live classes and AI support, and track weekly progress. Then we can go below and we can see the testimonial, and you can see the it's fully working testimonial. You can go back, forward, backward, and you can see that the testimonial by the users. And here you can see that we have a pricing plan. So here we have a build a beautiful pricing card, and here we have a different plans for that. So like different prices 49, 39 and the 29 per month. So what are the benefits you are going to get after the buying some this planning? And after that we have a another section like footer section. In this we have a book free trial button, talk to counselor button, and here we have a help with the AI assistant. So we have just added the random hard coded data, and it just reply whatever you message. So it is just a random hard coded response we have written. So it we have just built the landing page for this. So it is also responsive for the small devices. You can go and check it out. So you can see it is fully responsive on the small devices, and you can see that how call, chat and all this section are fully responsive, and on the footer side right down below. So you can go and check it out, and here you can see that the above we have a link. So you can go and paste this link in your phone or any laptop, so you can go and check out. And our project is live right now, so we are going to build this in this tutorial. So let's get started. So if you are new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe us. So here below, here we have a one video regarding the how to set up React, TypeScript and Tailwind CSS for your project. So I have already set up the React, TypeScript and the Tailwind CSS. If you don't know how to set up React, TypeScript, Tailwind, you can go and watch this tutorial. So here we have a set up our React application using React and Tailwind CSS and TypeScript. So you can go and see here our project is running on 5173 localhost. You can see that app is displaying right. So now here we have to install one more package like Lucide React that we have installed. So after setting your React, Tailwind, CSS and the TypeScript, that here you can go and watch this tutorial. And after that we have to install Lucide React, right? npm I Lucide React. Just write the name of this package npm I Lucide React. So if you don't know how to install, you can just search npm Lucide React. So when you will search it, you will see npm install Lucide React. This is the command to install your Lucide React, right? So let's build our application. First of all, we will start with the Navbar because it is on the top. So we'll start from the top to bottom, right? So let's get started. So to build our Navbar, we will first create a component folder. So in this components folder, we will write our all components like navbar, model, how it works section, hero section, and the other section. So we'll build our component one by one. So navbar dot tsx. So we are going to use TypeScript for the type safety. So it is very useful when you use TypeScript. So I'm just creating RAFC React arrow function. So and I'm going to import navbar from the component navbar, and I want to show the navbar here. So I'll just create a React fragment, and in this everything will be visible. So later we'll write the full app.tsx. So as of now I am just writing this, and I will make it. So here you can see the live. So you can see that the navbar component is visible. So we will make our navbar like this on the small devices, right? And on the large devices, when you go on the large devices, you can see that it is showing the all the name link. So we will build everything, right? So let's build our navbar. So to build our navbar, we have to import all the necessary things that we need in our navbar component. So we will import use state and use effect, right? So let's import it from React. So use effect comes from React, and use state also. Both use state and use effect come from the React. So we have imported both of them. Then we can import the menu icon, the cross icon, right, from the Lucide React. So here you can see that the graduation cap, the menu, and the cross icon. Then we have another icon for the down. So we will use this everything. So as of now we are not using this, so we can remove this icon, right? And just we are using menu icon, cross icon, and graduation cap that you can see here. So these are the things that we are going to use to build our app. So here our project is running on the localhost. So first of all we'll create a interface. So interface we create in our TypeScript. So navbar props. So this define the type of our functional component. So here the navbar is a functional component. So we will define the type of that. So we'll create a type open trial model, and will it is a function and void. So here you can see that when we are clicking on the book free tile, it open a model, right? So for that we have created a function type in our props, and this function props we will pass here in the functional component navbar. So after that here we have to use the type, right? So React dot functional component fc means functional component, and here we have to write navbar props, and after that the function that we have created we have to pass as a props here, right? So open trial model, After that, go below and we will create our use state for the each menu is open, each menu is closed, right? So each menu is open, right? So we will, if menu is open, we will do some task. If menu is not open, we'll keep the same icon. So and we will use scroll and all everything. So here we'll write each menu open. So we have created, initially our menu will not be open, right? So it will be false and the user will click, then we will open. So for that we have created our user state. So here now we can create a each scrolled. So while we are scrolling, it is highlighting, right? When we are on the other pages, right, it is automatically highlighted. See, it is on the curriculum. Now why choose us? So how it is working? Our user state is tracking our all data, right? So that's why we are creating each scroll, set each scroll, and initially it will be false. So it will be true when the user will scroll, right? Const, and on that we have to make our section active, right? Active, active section. So here the initially the active session will be home. So when we are scrolling, right, so our active session is testimonial right now. So for that, we initially our active, when you go for the first time, so I want to show the home page when the user is going for the first time. So on the initial value will be home, right? So that's why we have pass, and you can define the string, otherwise you can remove it also, so no errors will come. So let me use this. So no worries. And here let's create our nav item. So const nav items. So in this nav items, in this we will create an array of an object. So we'll create different object, we'll pass the id. So how we are going to track, right? So here we have an id, this section has id, this section has id, right? So each section should have an id, and it will also help when you use map function, right? And label home, href home, hashtag. So when we are on the home page, so see, curriculum home, right? So that's why you are using id, right? So let me make it small. Now let's create for the other section like curriculum, why choose us. So I'm just going to copy and paste other object also, so you can get the full source code in the description on the GitHub. You can go and check it out, and please give a star and the follow on the GitHub. Now let's write the use effect for our Navbar TSX. So in use effect, we are going to handle the side effect, and we are going to track which section is active right now, right? So when we are scrolling, right, so we are tracking which section is in our viewport. So now the curriculum section is in our viewport, right? So it is tracking all these things. So how we are going to track? So we are going to use effect is a hook that runs side effect in our function component. So how we are going to use it, we are going to see right now. So use effect, create a use effect, and in this use effect we have to create a arrow function, right? So we'll create a arrow function, and in this arrow function we have to pass a dependency array also. So I'm going to pass a dependency array, and the dependency array will be empty. Why? because empty dependency array means this effect runs once on mount and cleans the on the unmount. So we are going to run at once only. That's why we are passing it as a empty dependency array, right? So we will write a function const handle scroll, right? So what does this handle scroll does? So it's like we are tracking our when the user is scrolling down. Now this section is in the our viewport, so we have to track this section. How we are going to track? So when it is in the viewport, so in the viewport we have some height and width, right? So according to that we are going to track. So first of all we'll create a function handle scroll arrow function, then we will set each scroll greater than 20. So what it does, so update state to true if the user scroll more than 20 pixel from the top. So now we have suppose scroll more than 20 pixel, so we are setting our state to true, right? If the user has scroll more than 20 pixel, this can be used to trigger a visual effect, right? So after that we will get all the section id from the navigation item to track the scrolling through section. So each section has a id, right, that we have passed. So with that id we are going to track. So const section, and in this section sections equal to, we'll write nav items. In the nav items you can see that the nav items, that array we have declared items dot map, and in this map function we are going to select that item. So item dot id, so each item has a id, unique id, right? So we have to get that id for each section. So if you are on the home section we have a this particular id, if you are on the id section we have a particular id. So we are getting the section by id, right? Now find the currently active session by checking which section is in the viewport, right? So how we are going to check that which section is in the viewport, right? We have id, right? So const current section. So in this current section we are going to find the section. So this section that we have created right now, the section dot find section dot find section, and in this we want like element const element equal to document dot get element by id, right? So here we are finding the current section by the this section, that section has a id, so this section has id, and we are going to match with our this section. We have passed this section, right, this id. So with the id we are going to find this section. We got the id, right? We find the section, right, with the section id. And if we got the section, if element, so suppose we are on the home, right? If the element, then what we are going to do, we have a most important function, right? So const rect equal to element dot get bounding client rect. So this is the most important function So what is that? So suppose here first of all we'll get all the section id from the navigation item to track the scrolling through the section. We have got all the section id, right? Now here we are finding the currently active section by checking which section is in the viewport, right? So to check that we are going to get the DOM element by id. So which element, we have to find the element, right? So we are going to track with the id that we have get from the here, right? Now we have to get the position of that element relative to the viewport. So this function, what is that? It get the position of the element relative to the viewport, right? We are on the this viewport, it will take the element relative to this viewport, so it will give a position, right? So if we find this the position, check if the position is above, so we'll write a return a react dot top is less than equal to 100 and react dot bottom is greater than 100, right? So what we are doing, right? So check if the section top is, so suppose this section, this is the what you learn section, so this is the top, this is the section top, right? If the section top is above 100 pixel from the top of the viewport, so suppose this is the viewport area, right? So for the viewport area, so if it is 100 pixel from the top of the viewport, so if it is above from the 100 pixel from the top of the viewport, so here we have written, you can see that we have written, and now we are also checking if bottom is below 100 pixel indicating in this view. So if bottom is in below 100 pixel, so this is the viewport and the bottom is below 100 pixel indicating that it is in the view, right? So with this we have got the element. So if it is in a view, right, here we find the position of the relative element relative to the viewport. If you find the element, right, we'll check with the viewport, right, from the top and bottom. If the section top is above 100 pixel from the top of the viewport and its bottom is below 100 pixel indicating it is in a view. So this is JavaScript, this is all, this is JavaScript. So if you have not studied the event, scroll, event and the viewport, so go and learn, and it is very important. So if you are finding the position of any section, alien event, right, so we can find this text also. So is it this text is in the viewport, how we are going to find? We will give a particular id, we will define a section, and in that section we have to find the viewport, right, the element by the id, right? So we can do, we can find any other element and the section using this JavaScript, right? So now here we have, suppose we find the element, right? Suppose we didn't find the element, what we are going to do? We have to return false, right? So return false. So we didn't find the element, so we have to write the both cases, find the element, if you don't find the element, so for that both of them we have written the condition. So if section is currently in the view, suppose this section is in the view, so we have to set that section, right? So here we have used active session, set active section, right? So we have to set this active session, right? So how we are going to set that the current section is in the active section, right? So if current section is, if the section is currently in the view, update the state to set it as a active. So if current section, that's the use state that we have created, set active section equal to current section. So we have find this current section by writing this java. If we find this section, if it is in viewport, right, we have find this. So this section we want to display, so we have to set this in the set active section. This is the use state updater function that we have created, right? Now after this we have to, so this scroll event, how we are going to find which section is in the viewport. So this will work only when user will scroll. So we have to write the uh, scroll event, attach the scroll event listener to the window when the components mount, right? So we are mounting the component, so handle scroll. So this handle scroll function will happen, it will work when user will scroll, right? So we are attaching a scroll event, right? So we are mounting this state, we are updating the state to set it as a active, right? Now here, scroll event listener to the window when the component mounts. Now we have to clean up. So if you are using use effect, so when we are using some event and set timeout, right? So we have to clean that also. So we have to clean the scroll event listener when the components unmount. So suppose this is the what you learn current section, right? Suppose this section is in the mount, it has been mount. Now it should unmount, right? When we come to the another section, why choose our platform, that section should be unmount, right? So to unmount, what we are going to do is we have to write a return function, right? In this return function we are returning a arrow function. In this we are doing like window remove event listen. Here we are using add event listener, we are removing listener, the scroll listener, right? And this function that we have passed, right? So this is for adding and this is for removing. So when you are using the event listener, we have to clean that also in the use effect, right? So this how we have written our use effect to check which section is in the active section, right? Now we have a one more important function we have to write to define a function to scroll to a specific section when the navigation is clicked. So when we suppose we are on the this navigation, we open the navigation, suppose we click on say testimonial, it go to the testimonial section and the navbar, the that we have opened, right, it automatically close. See, suppose I am pricing section, click on price, we come to the pricing section and navbar is automatically closed. How we are going to build this? So to build this we are going to create a scroll to section. So scroll to section const scroll to section. So in this what we are going to write, so in this scroll to section we have to pass a parameter, so href, and in this href it's of type string. So we are defining our TypeScript, right? Here we have defined the href for each section, right? See, this section home and the curriculum. So we have, that's why we define the href. So it is like a section link you can consider as. So here we are writing this function. Suppose find the element in the document that matches the css selector, right? So now we are going to find the element in the document that matches the css selector, right? So we have to find the element first, element. So query selector, right? And here you can pass this as a type, or otherwise you can leave it also, so no worries. So here we are going to, if element, suppose we find the element, we have to calculate the vertical position to scroll to. So right, we have to scroll how much in the y direction. Suppose we in the y direction, how much we have to scroll? We are scrolling down, scrolling up, right? So how much we have to scroll? So writing that event, so get bounding client rect that we have used. So we will attach a top to function that gives the distance from the current viewport top, and we will use a windows page offset is how far the page has already been scrolled, right? So and now we will subtract also to account for the fixed header for spacing, right? So we will write all these points, right, to make our application. So offset offset top, offset top, and in this we will get the element dot get bound client rect, and in this function will attach a top, and this will find the gives the distance from the current viewport top. So if we find the distance plus what we are going to do, window dot page y offset. So page y offset is how far the distance, how far the page has already been scrolled, right? How much we have already scrolled this page. So we have to find that also, and we have to subtract 80. So why we are subtracting? To account for the fixed header and spacing. So for that we are subtracting this. So here you can see that we have to remove this question mark, no need of question mark, and here element dot get bounding client react and top, and we have subtracted 80. Then what we are going to do, like window dot scroll scroll to. So we have to scroll, right, smoothly scroll to the calculated position. Suppose we have calculated this position, right. Now we have to scroll, right. So to scroll on the top, offset y, and behavior will be smooth, so smoothly we have to scroll, right. Now we have to set. So when we are clicking right, so it is closing the right, closing the menu bar, right. Set is menu open false, right. And why it is showing? So here it is showing possibly it is null because it's a TypeScript error, right. So here you can see that we can write as a, here when we are finding the element, right, we can define the TypeScript as a HTML element. When you write this, it will just, the TypeScript error will be removed, right. So in JSX part we will write the navbar. So we are going to create the navbar, right. So we are going to use nav tag, and in this nav tag we have to write a class. So class name, so we have to style this, right. So we are going to write some JavaScript inside our Tailwind CSS, right. So in this we will use a backtick fixed, right, then top 0, then left 0, then we can write right 0, then we can make the z index 50 and transition all, then duration 300, right. So after writing this we have to write one more important thing in this. So here we will write a is scrolled. So is scrolled. If it is scrolled, so is scrolled, right? Where is your is scrolled? Here you can see that to track the state, right? If it is scrolling, so is scroll, then we can write. So if it is scrolling, so we have to make the background white, navbar blur. So I'll just copy and paste the code. So here you can see that here it is showing that if it is scrolled, then show the background, this background color, backdrop, blur, medium, and the shadow we can write like small, then border bottom, then border gray, right, for the navbar. So here you can see that the navbar, right? So for that, now these are the simple CSS, right? So and here we are using CSS based on the condition. So if it is a scroll, then apply this CSS, otherwise keep the background transparent, right? So these are the simple CSS, so you can use it. So now it is transparent, you can see that this background is transparent. So when we scroll, see the shadow and the white background color has been appeared. So when on the top you can see that it is transparent. No below box shadow is showing, right? Thus no shadow. When we scroll, see, then it is showing the shadow. So we have applied the Tailwind CSS based on the this condition is scroll, right? And we have written all this function. Now let's make a responsiveness. So we'll create a div, and in this div we'll create one more div, and in this div we'll write for the level. So div, and in this we'll create one more div. So we will make this everything is in a proper separate box, right? So it will be easy to manage everything. So graduation cap, and here, right? So let me write the class name. So you can see the graduation cap is visible right now, right? So we have to style, make it responsiveness. So container, then we can write mx auto, right? And then px4, and then we can write the class name here, flex, then item center to make it responsive, justify between, so it has been proper space, height 16, and the medium we have make the height 20, right? Now we can style this also. So here we can write like flex, then item center, then we can write space x3, right, from the x-axis. And now we can make it style for our graduation cap. So we are wrapping in our a proper div, right? So I'm going to apply the classes here. So you can see that it is not visual, so we'll write, make it text white. So now you see The graduation cap is visible right now, and we have created a box. In this box our graduation cap I is visible, and we have created the background using this width, height, background, gradient, color, flex, and make it item center, justify center to make it proper responsive for all the screen, right? Now we will write the create another div. So why we are creating more divs, so each element should be separate, and it will be easy to manage, and it will be very easy to make it responsiveness. So I will just copy and paste this section. So here we have, let me div, and in this div, so here we have created a div, and in this div we have make the hidden, right? So on our small devices the logo name is hidden, only the logo is showing, right? And here also only logo is showing. So when we increase the width, see, now our learn with us the logo, and the below we have a little description, so that paragraph is showing on this width, right? So we have defined all these things here. So here we have made the greater than a smaller device, so on the medium device, larger device, it will show. On the small device it will not show this. So we have written all these things in the Tailwind CSS, and we are making the text size large, font bold, and everything. So these are the simple CSS that you can use to make it proper responsiveness, right? Now we'll write for the desktop navigation. So so we will make it. So here for the desktop navigation we have all this. See, on the medium device we have a different thing. On the desktop navigation we are now at this breakpoint we are showing the nav items, and on the small devices we are not showing the nav items. See, so we write all the css, Tailwind css for each and every breakpoint, right? Let's create our desktop navigation, how our nav items will look on the desktop, right? So we will create a div, and in this div we will map all the items. So nav items dot map, and will pass the item and as a parameter, and here we are going to pass a button, and in this button what we are going to show. So we are using map, so passing as a key is mandatory. So item dot id, so each item has a id, right? So each nav item, and here in this we are going to show item dot label, right? So item dot label. So what is the label right now? So label is this label home curriculum, right? So we have to make it a style, right? We have to not show all these things, right, on our small devices like this. The nav item only it should show when we click on the menu bar. So we will write the class for that. So first we write the class, so hidden. So we have to make first hidden, and where we have to show large devices we have to make it flex item center, then space x8, right? Then you can see that it is not showing, only on the large device it will show. Suppose we are on the large device, it is showing. We have to make it here, right? So we'll write the code for that also, so no worries. So here we are writing out of this, so we can copy this and cut this, and here we have to make it after this step. So we are writing outside of parent div, that's why it was showing below, now it is showing on the top. So make sure you're writing properly, right? So that it will show the all the items, right, in the proper way, right? So I will write the remaining things for this. So what we are going to do other than the passing id, so whenever anybody will click, right, on click, so what we are going to do, we have to scroll that to that section, right? When the user will click, we have to scroll that section, right? And then we have to write the class name. So if it is active session, so let me copy and paste the classes. So these are the simple Tailwind CSS classes. First we'll write the position relative padding from the top and y, then the text sizes, font, transition colors, and the duration. So now here is the conditional Tailwind CSS we are writing. If the active session equal to item.id, right? Active session, in the active session we are finding that section, right? And with, if that section has that same id with that, then it will show the text below and is scrolled, and it is, if it is scrolled, then showing, we are showing here like text gray and the hover, right? So let me show you. So suppose we are on this section, so it is showing a text color and the background, right? So when we, this is on the like large devices, but sorry, on the small devices, but here we have to show on the large devices. When you are on the curriculum section, it automatically active, and the this text color and the, you can see the background border has been shown, right? So so for that we have written, if active session equal to item id, right, then text blue, and if it is scrolled, we are scrolling, right, so that time text gray and the hover effect, and all these things we have to add. Then we have a, like in the bottom we have a border, right? We have a border also, right? So we have to show the border also. So for that we'll write another condition here below item label, because on the below the label, below the home section, we are showing the border, right? So we have to write like active section, and if active section matches with the item id that we have created, then what we are going to do, so we are going to show a border below this, right? So we'll create a div, and in this div we'll write the class name. So it is recommending my AI assistant to use these classes, but I'll use my own written classes. So I'll just copy and paste it here. The class name, absolute, border bottom, right, 0, left 0, and everything. So suppose here we are on the C, our local host area in 517. So if it is current section or the home section, so it is showing the border, right? So we have not added functionality like when we scroll it is so we have not added the all the section, that's why we, when we click, it is not going to that section. So we'll write all of these things also. So let me format this document so it should look in a proper way. Now after this we have a CTA button, right, call to action button. So here a free trial, right? When we clicking, it should open a model, right? So how we are going to write? So let me write code for that also. So here below we are going to write a div, and in this div we have a button, then button, and in this button we are going to write free trial. Let me open my localhost here. So it is showing right now, but we don't want to show on the small devices. So we will write the code for also that. So first of all, we'll write hidden, we'll hide this. So it will be hidden, you can see that, and md flex and items center, we can make this item center so that it will be proper responses, and from the space from the x-axis we can make it. And then here button, we can use the classes like the button have some background gradient, text color, font bold, and this everything, right? So let me write for that. So I'll just copy my Tailwind classes and I will paste it here, right? So that button will be automatically styled. So let me show you. So you can see the button has been styled, right? So when we click, it should open a model, right? So we'll apply a on click event, on click event, and open trial model. So this open trial model, this is the you just said that we have created above, right? So where is open trial model? Let me show you open trial model. So here we have created a Navbar function, and when we click on this, it should open model, right, on the trial button. So that's why we are passing as a props. And when we create this model, when we'll create this model, we will receive these props, right? We pass these props to the navbar, and when we click our open, like here when we click in, it should open a model, right? When we click our model, when we create our model, we will receive this as a props, right? That we pass to this navbar component, right? So we will write the function for that also. It is very easy, and we have created our free trial button, right? So now we can make it a mobile menu, right? So let's create a mobile menu. So to create a mobile menu, what we are going to do, we have to show a navbar, like menu bar icon, right? And we have to add a click event, so when you click it should open, right? So for that we are going to create a button, and in this button we will write a function each menu open. If it is open, then show a X icon, right, the cross icon. And if it is closed, right, if the menu is closed, then show a this menu icon. See the third, the three lines, you can see that. If it is open, then it is show the cross icon, right? When we have open, it is showing now the cross icon. When it is closed, it is showing the this three lines, right? Now we have to apply the class name here. So here we have to apply the class name, and in this class name we have to write like, suppose, where is your class name? So I'll just copy the style for our class name. I will paste it for our button, right? So you can see that the button has been styled right now. It is looking perfect. Now when the user will click on this button, what we are going to do? So on click, we are going to toggle this, right? Set is menu open, right? We have to toggle these things, right? When we are clicking, we have to toggle it, right? So we have written this, and here let me copy and see, it is toggling, right? The icon is toggling. You can see that when you click the cross icon, close and all. So this set menu is open, not open. So this use the state updater function will update the state, the current state, right? So now we can write the remaining item. So when we click on this, it should show a item, right? So we will write for that also. So out of this div we will write the menu items. So we will use the nav items array of object that we have created before, right? So to use that, I will just, it is same like above, so I will just copy and paste for that part also. So let me first create a div, and in this div we'll create another div, and in this div we will pass the nav items. So we want to show the nav items, right? So pass it here, right? And it is showing error, so we will fix this also. Div, so I'll just, so here the nav item is showing right now, right? So when we are closing, it is not closing, right? So nav item is showing right now, right? When you hover, it is showing, right? So here it is, we are passing a nav item through the map like above we did, and we have passed the key. It's similar like the desktop. And here scroll to section, we are passing scroll to section. So when I click on this, it should scroll to that section, that function that we have created above, right? And here we have a style, this our nav item like text, font, everything. And if the section is active, right, active section is item id, then it is apply this Tailwind CSS classes, right? So like that we have created like for the desktop, similarly we have created for this also, right? And we don't want to show on the hidden, right? So we will write the class for that also. So here I will just write the class name, and in this, here we have written the on the large devices it will be hidden. So when I will go on the large devices, so let me go on the large devices, so it is hidden, the menu bar is hidden. The small devices it is showing, right? So transition or duration 300, overflow hidden. If it is menu is open, then show this max height, opacity and everything. If it is not open, so opacity is 0, right? So here you can see that if it is open it is showing, and if it not open it is not showing, right? So opacity becomes 0, means it will not show, right? And you can see that our this menu item is sticking on the top, we don't have padding, so we will fix that later. So now when we are on the navbar, we have to style our this div also. So here we have a div that we have created, so we'll style this. So what it does, it creates a space and the padding on the backdrop filter md, and then it takes the borders on the top and border grid, right? So you can see the borders on the top, right? So that's the Tailwind CSS. So it's depend on you how we are going to show our navbar items, right? So after that we have a book free trial button also, right? When we are clicking, a book free trial button is showing below, right? So for that we will write a div, and in this div we will pass the button, right? So let me pass this. So open trial model. So why it is showing error right now? Did you mean open trial model? Some spelling mistake, right? Open trial model. What? Let me check. Open trial model. So this is the function name to open the model. So we have to copy the same function, we have to paste it here, right? So now it is okay. So like we did in the desktop part, we have to show a this book a free trial button, right? So below the this label, that's why we have written below this button, right? So we have created a button with this, and open trial model function we have passed, and set is menu is false. So when I will click the, so I will show here. So here when we click, the menu item should close, right? And the open should merge. See, menu item has already closed, so we have closing the menu, right? So these are the small things that we have to take care of, and we have created our navbar with the fully functional working. Let's build our hero section. So in hero section you can see that we have a top badge, right, rated for number one learning platform batch, and then you can see that the heading, right? Then we have a paragraph and the book free trial. When you click on this, open a model. So like we have apply on this, we can apply on this button also, and watch demo button, and the how many student caught taught, and average rating, and the expert mentors. Then on the right side we have a beautiful image with this ball animation bouncing back, right? So we will build this hero section. So let's make it a small, go for the our VS code, and let me make it more small. Then here we will create a component name with hero section dot tsx. So we will write our section code here. So we will create a React arrow function. Then we will write, we will import our icon. So we have a star icon, right? So a star from Lucide React. Then we can play button on the watch demo, right? So play button. So we have to import the play icon, right? Not button. So it is the icon. So here interface, and here we can see hero section props, and then we can use this open trial model, but here we have use on open trial model. So we have to make the naming should be same, open on open trial model, right? So here also on open trial model. So make sure everything is proper, and then here we can apply the TypeScript for this functional component. So here you can write react.fc hero section functional component, and here we have passed the props as a open trial model, right? Then after that we have to write our this section. So let's start. So in this we have no functionality, just we have a button. On the button we have a open trial model, but right sex we have to create the section, right, for our home section. So so let's create our JSX. So how we are going to display on the UI. So let's create a section tag for our hero section, and in this we have to create a div, and in this div we'll create two div 1. So you can write like this also, and it will create two divs, right? And after that let's style our section tag. So in section tag we have to make it is a relative position, and then we can mean height screen so that it will take the height of the screen. And after that we can make background gradient from to bottom right, bottom right, and then we can make from blue 50 to via white, okay, and to till 50. Then we can write flex item center, and then we can make justify center and overflow hidden, and then we can make the padding from top 20. So these are the simple Tailwind classes that we are using to make it a responsive and proper display on all the screen devices. And we can see that we have a some background on our here. On the background we have a some animation. So for that we can create created the two div. In that we have written the position absolute and insert 0 and overflow hidden. Then we can create two divs, right? So for that two div I have already created the animation in the background. So this is the Tailwind classes that I have used, like absolute from top, from bottom, and this color and the opacity and animate pulse, right? So what does animate pulse? Is pulse 2 second cubic bezier with the infinite loop animation, right? So after that let's go for another div, and there we will show this batch. The batch, you can see that here the rated learning platform. So we'll create that batch. So how to create that batch? So we will create the div first, and in this div we'll create one more div, and in this div we'll create one more div. And because we are making proper div for everything that we are going to use here, each heading and the this badge and the paragraph, everything should be in the proper and the responsiveness. So that's why we are creating these divs, right? So let's write the class name for the first div. So in the first div we can write the container to make it responsive, and mx auto, and padding x4, then padding y20. Then we can write relative position and z index 10, right? So here we can write the class name for grid, make it responsive, and for the large devices grid call to. So here we can see that the left content and the right content. On the large devices it is showing the two grids, one in the left, one in the right, the image. So suppose I go on the small devices, so it show me only, see, this is on the top and this is on the image on the bottom. So it is showing one grid, right, on the small devices. So we are writing grid to make it responsive, right? So padding x4, otherwise we can take the gap 12 between the gap between two sections and items center, right? So this is the parent one. Now we have to write for the left content what we want to show on the left content. So I just comment out left content. So in the left content what we are going to show, we have a batch, right? First of all, so we have created a div. In this div we can create one more div, and this div we can create one more div, and in this div we can create a star. So this star comes from Lucide React, right? So that we have already imported, right? So no worries, the star has been already imported on the top, you can see that. So it will work. So we'll write the class name, the left content. So first of all we'll make the text center. So each content should be in the proper center, right? And mx auto, otherwise we can create right for the large devices text left. So here on the small devices it will be center, right? On the large devices text left, right? And after that we can write the class name for this div also. So flex, then we can write item center, then justify center. So these are the simple Tailwind CSS to make it proper responsiveness. Justify start, right? Justify start on the large devices, and MB margin bottom 6. So on the large devices it should be in the justify start, right? So in the starting, right? And on the small devices it should be in the center, right? So and the image should show on the bottom on the small devices. So these are the simple CSS how we are going to write and show on the UI, right? So here we can write the class name for this also, flex items center, and bg orange. So we can write 500 and margin right 2, right? Then for the star we can also style this. Width we can take 4, height 4, then text orange, and we can write 500, and margin from right we can take like 2, and after the star we can create a, so this should be in with a star we have a this rated platform, right? In this div, so these are in the flex, so that's why in the row wise, right? So here you can write span for the text, right? So I'll just copy and paste this part. So here I have just written the class name, text size, and font medium color, and here I have written the text that we have seen that here the text you can see there here, right? So we have created this. Now we have to create this thing, and you can see that this is has separate color, right? This has a separate color gradient, and this is has a separate. So we are going to use a span inside the paragraph tag, right? So let's create that part also. So I'll just go below this. So this is the parent div. So in this we are showing our left content, right? So let's write code for that. So in this we have to write the h1 tag, right? So because we have a text, right? The bigger text, So that's why we are using h1 tag. And in this, let me copy paste and show you. So what we are doing, right? First we'll create h1 tag. In that we are writing the master your skills with, and then curly braces we have a empty, right? Empty object that we created, and this is one, right? So this is for we, I told you we are going to use a span. In this heading tag, suppose we are writing some text, and in that text suppose we want to style this skills. So to style this we use a span tag inside our heading tag, right? So use a span tag, and we have written this span tag to style one-to-one personalized, right? And we have written the background gradient from blue to the steel color, right? And clip and bg clip text to apply the background on the text, and the text should be transparent. That's why the background color will be applied on the text. This is the method to apply background color on the text, so you must know that. So this is for the heading. Now we have a paragraph tag below that. So it is very simple to create a paragraph, right? So let's create a paragraph. So for paragraph, just create a p tag, and in this p tag, right, we have a text excel size. We have defined the text and the color and the max width 2 XL. So maximum width will be 2 XL. So here you can see that in the parent div we are writing, this is the parent div in the left content, right? So this all we are writing here on the left content. So after that we have a two button. Both button are looking similar, just the color and the text we have to change. So to build that, and on clicking on a book free trial, it open a model, right? So we will build that also. So here we'll create a div below paragraph tag, and in this div we'll write a button. So this button tag for the book free trial, book a free trial. So in this button, when anybody click, what I want to do, on click I want to open the model, open trial model, right? And this model will be open, right? So here let's write the class name for that. In this we can add flex call, and we can write the small devices flex greater than a small devices. So on the large devices we want the in the row, right? So we are on the large devices, that's why it is showing on the row. Suppose we go on the small devices, it is showing in the column wise. See the both buttons, right? So these are the simple Tailwind CSS, right? So here we can write gap 4 justify center, then large devices I want justify should be start, right? And here we can style the button also. So class name, and here we can write the some background gradient, right? And the blue text white padding hover. So I'm just going to copy paste the style. So these are the simple Tailwind CSS, right? So nothing extra much. So background gradient we have used, text color, padding, right? How much the rounded corner should be, and the font weight, right? Then the when the user will hover, how the color will change, and the some transform animation. We are increasing the size of the button, right? And the transition duration 200, shadow, and hover shadow excel. So when you hover, the shadow increases. So these are the simple css you can style for our button. Now similarly we can create one more button for the watch demo. So below this button I'll create one more button, and here in this button we no need to open a model. We are not opening model on click of this button. So just watch demo. So this is the button, and here we are using play icon, right? So these are the play icon. This is the play icon coming from the Lucide React that we are using it. And here is the style. We have a style our button, right? Now let's format this document first. So now after creating this div button, right, what we have to go. So after that we have a this 10k student dot. So these two things all are the these three things are in the looking similar, just the data has changed. Here 10k, here 4.9, here 500. Here the student dot average rating, here the experimenters. Both are styling are similar, just the we have to change the content, right? So for that I will just create a div, and in this div we'll create another div, and in this div we'll create two div. So how to create two div inside one div? So here we can start multiple two, so it will create. So here we can write 10k, and below we can write students dot. So we can write like this, right? 10k plus, right? And let's style this. So class name and margin from top it will be 8, then flex, then items center, then we can write justify center, lg justify start, right, on the large devices. So make sure, and we can create a particular variable tailwind classes. We have custom tailwind classes in our tailwind config or in the index css. So using base utilities and all these things, so no repeating of the tailwind classes, right? So as of now we are using simple. So center, so we have to write class name, right? Class name text center, right? Then here we can write the class name for the student. So here text to excel, then we can write font bold, then text gray, text gray 900. Then similarly we can style this also, the student dot, so class name text sm, then we can write text gray 600, right? So we have created this. Now we have to do copy and paste the same thing, right? And just we have to change the text, right? So I'll just copy and paste this thing. So let me copy. It is showing here. I think I have pasted extra div. Now it is okay. So here is the parent div, right? And in this parent div we have a one more div for the text center for each div, right? So each div have a same style, right? Just the text had been changed, right? For the here the data we have written here in the row wise and these two things in the column wise. Now after this we have to create this image loading animation. You can see that it's all there, right? So to create the floating elements and the image, let's go and create here. So below this, so this is the left content div, right? So we have to create below, right? So div class name relative, and then after this in this div we have to show the image, right? So img tag, so I'm just copy and paste the image. So here is the image tag. In this way we get the source of the image, this is the path of the image. Then I have here written the alt text and the width full and height auto of the image and the maximum width on the large devices and maximum auto, so make it responsive on the large devices, and the loading is lazy, right? After this image we can create the floating elements. So to create the floating elements I have already written code for the floating elements, so I'll just copy and paste. So here is the bouncing animation, right? The two floating elements on the top, on the right side, on the bottom. So here you can see that on the top left side, right? And here width and height of that bubble and the background gradient bubble, right? Then what is the opacity and the animate bounce, so it will bounce, right? And here for the below, so here you can see that the below bouncing bubble and the top left bouncing bubble. So here we have created our hero section. So our hero section has been completed. So next we'll go for the another section. So what you learn section. So this is the very easy section. So here just we have written the heading, then the paragraph, then after that we have created the six card, and each six card have the same style, just the color, hovering color is changing according to the icon, right? You can see that the border color has been applied according to the this icon, and the only the text has changed, everything is the same, just the data has been changed and the icon, right? So we'll create this, and here in below we have a paragraph with this icon, tick icon, right? So this is very easy. So let's create this part also. So let's create the component for that. So we have named this component curriculum dot tsx. So we have named this component as a curriculum dot tsx, and we have to create all these things, the curriculum, right? So let's create a react arrow function, and in this we are importing our necessary thing, like we are importing the icons from the Lucide React to use it, like book open, code, user, check circle, target, right, bar chart. So these are the icons that we are going to use in our curriculum section, right? And in this I'm just write the type of this functional component react.fc, right, dot fc, and after that we can create a models. I've already created a data, right? I'll just show you what is this data. So this is the module. So in this module curriculum, we are using the icon, title, description and the gradient. So this is the icon, this is the title, description and the background gradient. The below you can see that the border, right? So each has the different data. Just so we are not copy and like we are not writing the same repetitive code again and again. Just we have created one data and we will use this data, map this, we'll create one card. Okay, we will create one card, and in this one card we'll create write one card. In this we have to change just data, right? Suppose we are writing, we are not creating this. Suppose we have not created this array of an object here, then we have to write the same card multiple times, right? So this is the repetitive of code. So we have to use React component, right? So we are using React. So we'll create one card because all cards are similar, just we have to change the data. So we'll store the data at one place. We'll create an array of an object and we will map over this all data over this card, right? So we have created this array of object. Then we have created the icon. This icon important from the Lucide React, and it has a title, description and the gradient when we hover, right? So these are the data we have created. So we are using 6 card, right? So 6 data, and you can pass the ID also, right? So you can use index also, so no worries. So we are going to use index only, so we are not pass the id, but id would be better. So let's create a section, and in this section we'll write the div tag, and we'll create one more div, and in this we have an h2 tag, and we have defined what you learn. So let me copy and paste the h2 tag first. So in the h2 tag, similarly that we have written for the hero section, we have just, we have to, suppose we want to make this learn with the different style. So this learn has a background, right? So it has a different style. So we have to style this h2 tag, right? So in the h2 tag we have to style this text, so that's why using span tag, and we have modified that text, right? So let's write class name for this section tag. So padding y 20, and then we can write container. So class name first we write container, then we can write mx auto and padding x4. Then we can style this div also, text center. Then we can write the margin from bottom 16, right? And we have just showing this heading, and after below this heading we have a paragraph, right? So we will show the paragraph below heading. So this is the paragraph. So this paragraph has a text size, text color and maximum width 3xl and the mx auto. So these are the paragraph, right? So after this we have to create the cards, right? So we will create one card and we will map data, this data modules data over all this card. So let me go out of this div, and here we'll create a div, and in this div we will map each data. So modules, so we have created modules dot map, and we will pass a parameter, right? So we will pass a parameter module and index. So we can pass any name here, right, in the parameter, so no worries. So we will write, and here we have to create a const icon, right? and in this we have to module dual dot icon. So we have fetched the icon, right? Then after that, fetching the icon, we have to return. So return. So we have to return a JSX, right? So we are creating a separate card component, right? So div, and in this div we have to pass the index, right? So key is index because we are using map. So use key always index. So index is not mostly recommended, but we are using as of now. So you can create your own ID. So after this we have to first we have to style this. So grid, make it MD on medium and large devices. Grid calls to the medium devices, large devices. I want to show how much card. Grid calls 3 will be okay, and gap we can create the gap between the card is 8. So these are the simple CSS Tailwind classes, right? And here we can style the card. So here on the card we have written the group to group each card, and here we are writing the background and the rounded corners and the shadows. And when we hover, the shadow increase to 2 XL. Before it was LG, right? So you can hover on it. See, the back shadow has been increasing, right? So here we are writing the transition all duration 300 transform hover and the translate y border, right? And the border gray overflow hidden. So these are the simple CSS. And after that, what we are going to show in the data. So first of all, I'll create a div, and in this div we will write the class name padding 8 from everywhere in this div. And in this div card I want to show what I want to show. So we have like this icon text and this paragraph, right? So we will first will make it a background gradients, and we are hovering, it is a background gradient, you see that. So we will write code for that. So in this div we will uh, this is the code. So here the you can see that on the icon we have a background, right? We have a background icon. So to create that background icon, we have created the background a color. We have written the color in the modules, right? This gradient modules. So here we are using the same gradient here, so that it maintain the each card has a own separate, right? It has a own separate background. See, this is the separate background on the icon, this is the separate. So we are mapping the data, right? That's why we have created a module, an array of an object, and each icon has a background, has a height, width, right? Background to bottom right, right? Then flex item center, we are making justify center. When we hover, it will scale, right? It will increase, the size will be increased, right? And we are using the icon, right? In this, so in this background the icon will be displayed, the icon, right? And this icon is coming from the module icon. So we have just written one this icon, right? This all this, so it map all the data. With writing this one line of code, it will take all these 6 icon, right? That is power of map function. So it will take all this data icon, right? And after this we can create a title. We have a title, right? So below this div, so here we can write like a heading, and in this heading we can write module.title. So it will take each title card, and it has some style, right? Font bold, text excel, and the text gray, group hover effect, how it's look, right? Now after this we can create the paragraph for the description, right? So below h3 tag we write paragraph for the description. Then when we hover on it, it has an below the line, it's animating from left to right, right? You can see that. So how we are going to animate, and it is according to the icon, right? This icon color, that's why we created the a data for each icon. So this each card have a this background gradient color to the background animation border, right? So that's why we are using. So after that we have to create a div, and in this div we have to pass like here in the class name. Let me format this document first. So we have created a div and height 1 and the background to right. So it is coming to right, right? The background is coming to right. And transform scale 0 and group hover. When we hover, initially scale 0, right? But when we hover, the scale x 100. In x-axis it had been 100. Then transform, transition transform, and duration and origin, it's coming from the left. So it is starting from the left, that's why. And it's going to the right, right? You can see that. So we have created this also. Then we have a one more thing. When you hover below, we have a this text and the icon, the check icon, right? So how we are going to create this? So this is also very easy. So this is the separate, right? So I will just show you. So here we have created this div, and in this div let me create a one more closing div. So here what we are doing, so we have created a div in the text center, margin from top is 12, so it is taking the space from the top, right? Then we are creating a div in this inline flex and item center, background, and all these things. So we had made in the here in the center, right? And here we can created the background blue also. So you can see a little bit. So you have a background blue and the a little fading. And after that we have creating in the row wise the circle we are showing and the text, right? So we are showing that circle icon and the text, so it is showing in the row wise. So for that we have written this code, right? Odd models, text color, right? Font medium, right? And the height and width of the icon, how much margin on from the right it should be, right? So these are the simple css that you must know. So practice, and it will show you the results, right? So after writing this we have to go for the another section. Now let's create our another section, that is our USP section. Why choose our platform? So in this we have a similar text, the heading, right? And the paragraph, and the we have a just the card, right? And the some background colors, right? And we have a some icon. So it is quite look similar to above section, right? So we can also create this very easily. And here we have another div, and in this div we are just showing our heading on the top. Then the we have a paragraph and the some this success rate and all this data. This is the similar data that we have created for the hero section, right? And these are the simple cards, right, that I we have created here. It is a simple paragraph that just we have created a bigger d with the more data. So this is quite similar to above section. So let's create. So we have to create our new component USP section dot tsx. So in this we have to create React arrow function. Then in this we have to import all the necessary thing that we need in this. So I'll just import it, like these icons, right, from the Lucide React. Then you can make it React dot fc functional component types. And similarly, like in previous section, we have created our data, right? We are storing our array of an object, so each we are mapping over each card, right? So like similar one, we have created icon, title, description, and the color. So we will map all this data on the cards, right? And not only this, we have created a get color class. So here we are using the color blue and all. So here you can see that we are using the color blue, and here is the some different color according to the icon, right? So this blue color is for this, right? When we hover on it, it is showing the text is blue, but the icon has a separate, right? So to get that color classes, so these are the classes that we have created. So this is blue classes, right? So for the blue classes we have created a different background. For the green classes, these are classes. So this is not the Tailwind classes, right? So in the Tailwind classes it's like blue 500, right? Blue 600, so that we use, right? So this is not the Tailwind classes, this is our custom class that we are going to create. So this is the custom class. Now if suppose you just retain the blue, what color gradient we should show? So to show that, we have created a function get color classes. So in this we are passing the color as a string. So why we are passing color? So this is the color and it is a type of string, so we are passing this as a here the parameter, right? And here we have created a object of colors. So each object, like blue has a background, is this blue class has a background blue 100, text blue 100, 600, then border we have a, for this class and the hover. So after creating this, when the user will use this blue and the green and this all this color string, then it will apply this tailwind classes. These are the tailwind classes, right? So when we use blue bg, so it will apply the blue background color, right? So how we are going to use this, we'll see in the below, right? And we are returning color, these colors, as a color as a key of type of colors. So this color has a key type of color, so that is string. This is the array of an object, right? So for the TypeScript we are returning colors, and we are passing these colors in the color, right? This is the color as a argument here in the colors object, and we are defining the type as a an array of an object, right? So this is not an array in an object, this is an object inside the object, right? So let's return for the this section. So in this section we'll write a div, and in this div we'll write one more div, and after that we like the h2 tag, and this h2 tag we have a why to choose our platform, and then we have a paragraph tag, right? So I'll just copy and paste. So these are the simple heading that we have created for the above section also, and the text, the paragraph text looks like similar like before section. Let's just make it responsive. Padding y from the top, then bg gradient to bottom right, then we can write from gray and 50 we can write, and to blue 50. Then we can style this table, so let's make it responsive container, then we can write mx auto, then padding x4, right, from the x-axis. Then we can write the class name for this also, text center, then we can write margin bottom 16, right? And these are the for our heading. Now we have a cards, right? So let's create our cards. So out of this we have to create a card. So we, for this we have created a separate div. In this we will pass all the data. So our object name is USPS that we created above, right? An array of an object to get all the data, right? Then we will map each data over the cards. So here we will write USP index, and here we are creating const icon like similar section that we have created, and USP dot icon, right? Then after that const color classes, we have to take the color classes also, color classes equal to, here we can write get color classes function, and we have to pass color as a parameter. The USP, in the USP object we have a color, right? So these are passing as a argument here, and then we are returning a card, right? And in this card what we are going to show, we are creating a div, and in this div we have a, let me, so it is a key of index. So when you are using my function, use a key, and let me style this table. So it should be grid, and on the medium devices grid calls, so how many cards I want to show, suppose I want to show 2, and on the large devices I want to show how much cards, like I want to show 3 cards, and the gap would be 8. Then after this let's style this div also. So this div is quite similar as the above section that we have created, right? So I'll just copy and paste, and I will show you what this class name dot. So this is the group classes where this is coming from Tailwind CSS that we are using for our cards. Then we attach a background white rounded 2xl on the corner, so it should look good. And the shadow, as when we hover, the shadow will increase, transition 300 duration, right? So these are simple CSS. And the border too, and see the get color border, what is the class of the border, right? So the border class will be this color classes dot border. So in this, where is our border, color classes dot border. So this here we have a border, right? In the get color classes function we have a border, so this border will be applied here, right? So, and get color classes dot hover. So what is the hover? classes we have written here, so we are getting here. So so this, why we are creating all this function, because when you create here separately it is easier to maintain. So suppose you want to change some over color for all these cards, some data, so we have to go through all this card, and we have to here we have to mess up with the large code bases. So here we have to change here, and it will all the data will be applied to this card automatically, because we are passing that data over here. Now we have a icon, right? So in the icon we are creating a div, and in this div we are creating a class name and the background classes for this color. So the background classes we have a the background for this icon, right? So this background color classes is coming from our, here is our, so this is the color classes background. So here we are using the bg, right? So this is the bg background class. So this is the background color, and we are using the icon, right? Icon has a text. So what is this text? So what is this text coming from? Text has a this text color blue, right? For this icon. So each icon has a different color that we have defined in our get color classes, right? So here each has a different icon. Then we have a this title and the paragraph. So let's create that part also. So in this we are creating h3 tag and the paragraph tag. So let me go through this, and here we are creating a h3 tag, and h3 tag have a text size excel, and we have a border bold, font bold, and then we can make a text gray 900, margin bottom from the bottom it will be 4, then group over. So these are the simple css, Tailwind css we are using to make it card look good. You can make it more better, and here we are using the usp.title, so the title data will come from that object and it would should show. So here it we are showing the description, right? So these are the card we have created. So nothing left, just we have to left with this div, and in this div we have a heading, paragraph, and this some how much rating, success rate, student, and support available data. So we are going to create a div first. So let's go out of this, and in this section we are going to create a div, and in this div we are creating another div and h3 tag, and in this h3 tag we will show our how is your learning experience. So I will just, so this is the h3 tag, so ready to transform your learning experience. So this is the heading tag, and this is the paragraph tag. We are applying some style, right? That you can see here the heading and a paragraph, but we have a div also, so let's style our div also. So in the div we have a margin top 16, right, and the text center. Then we can write the class name for this. So background white, then we can make rounded to XL, and we can make shadow LG, so it should apply the shadow, and padding 8, and max width 4XL, and MX auto, and the border, and we can write border gray, and we can write 100 the border gray color, right? Then after this we can, what is the thing after this, we have this data, right? With this data have all are similar in the row wise, and just we have to change the data. So for this we'll create a separate div, and each div has a own style. So let me go below this paragraph tag, create a div, and in this div we are making a parent div, and in this div we are making flex, justify center, item center, so that all these should be in the row wise. We are making a row wise. We'll create a separate div is for this data, and this data, and then we'll make it this div as a column, right? So that the 98% will look on the top and the text will be on the bottom. So here we are make it as a column, right? So text, and the text grade, text size, font bold, right? And then it will apply this text center. So why we are using this is, without writing flex call, here we are reading flex, so it is making write a row. The default property of flex is row, so this is making all these three things in the row wise. But without, so to make these two things 98% and the success rate in the column wise, we are not using the text like a flex call. And it is then also it is showing in the row wise. Why? Because we are using div is a block level element, so it will go below the this 98% the div and the another div will go below. So this is a block level tag, right? The div element, right? So that's why it is showing in the row wise, column wise, this div, both the divs, right? So no need to write flex call here. So this is for our USP section, right? So we have done with the our USP section, right? So the remaining section is how it works section, right? And this how its work section have a same heading and the paragraph, right? You can see that, and the all this card has a same style, right? Just we have to change the data. Then we have a below the, you can see that the div and the same that we created in the above section. Then we have a, here the same paragraph for the testimonials. So here we have a testimonial section, and in this we have a same heading and the paragraph, and the below we have a card, right? So we are showing the different cards. So we are showing the 6 different card, and we have added the functionality to go to the next card. So we'll see the functionality, and it has the same card style, just we are changing the data, right? And here is the same thing that we have created in above section, right? This data, and then we have a pricing plan, the same heading and the paragraph. Then we have the same card, just we are changing the color and the data, right? So all these things we will see in the next part of the tutorial. So, and the footer section also, so we'll see in the next part of the tutorial. Till that, I will share the source code of this whole project, right, on my GitHub, so you can go and give a star and the follow on the GitHub. So hope you guys like the tutorial and must share with your friends. So thanks for watching. We'll meet in the next part of the tutorial with the these three remaining sections.